Good morning. It is Saturday, the 14th of September, and I have a bullish bias in Bitcoin. In fact, I think we're going up on one of those ramp ups where it just goes up to a parabolic move and then stalls back out again. And if you're interested in seeing that kind of move in Bitcoin and why I think that, then this episode is for you. Let's jump in and take a quick look at the disclaimer. You can pause the video to read through that. This isn't trading advice, just market observation. And then I'm going to jump into the main screen, and what a fantastic way to start the day today. In our Discord group, I jumped in and Leviathan had left this feedback saying, hello, the system you go through each stream, looking at the indicators systematically has really changed how I look at trading. Thanks a lot, very grateful. And I'm glad for the chance to pass along the things that have helped me so much. And as we go through this stream, I want to encourage you to head over to the website, introdocryptos.ca, and enroll to receive the free webinar with our complete trading system. And you get more bonuses coming along, and I'll talk about that in a bit. But that'll help you really make the most of this live stream. Now let's jump in and talk about my bullish bias and where it came from. And first of all, we're going to go through the relative strength index, then we'll go through the on-balance volume, then we'll go through the MACD indicator, and we'll finish with the Ichimoku cloud, and we go from the weekly through the daily into the smaller time frames and look at the indicators against our trading system. So you really need that free webinar so that you get the trading system, then you understand why I'm going through the indicators the way I am. So each day we're going through this, looking at the relative strength index here. I'm seeing this as a potentially really bullish setup, that it's holding its own place there rather than pulling back. We're in a similar situation to what we're seeing right here. What is that? The first month of 2016. And we're going to talk about this again at the on-balance volume. So this is looking good on the weekly time frame for the relative strength index. Then we go into the daily time frame, and we're zooming right into this area here now, and I'm going to start pointing out the details going on right here in this indicator, that we have the RSI hit a bottom, holding above these center levels and going higher is really good, because every time we bounce up off of that, it is a surge to the upside. So if we're seeing that happening, we're lifting off. Let's zoom into the 12-hour time frame, and I want to point out this specific part of the chart again. So we can see that we have this uptrending RSI. We're nowhere near way oversold, right? We've got lots of room to go up. Breaks above this level are very bullish. So if we see this RSI going above these levels, we're taking off. And you'll note that I'm not really talking very much about the bearish view, because it's, you got two sides to the knife always. But if it does break below these levels and start to come down from here, then my bullish bias gets just wiped out and switched, and I have to switch directions quickly because we're at the point of this triangle. Let's zoom in now, and I've been pointing out this trend all the way along. As we're changing time frames, this trend is what we're looking at here. The same trend all the way along, just changing time frames. It gets a little bit warped, but it's the same pull back and then move up, pull back and then move up, pull back and then move up. All the way along, we've got this pull back and then a move up. So again, I'm super watching for that takeoff from there, especially when we have the pull back and then the move up. We've got a pull back. Let's see what goes on. Close that and go into the 1 hour time frame. So again, I'm watching for this and this. Break above these levels, and the point just gets finer and finer and finer all the way along. Everything is building up to the move upward. And we haven't seen that kind of consolidation since we were going through this area right here, where all of the indicators and everything were just saying up, up, up from here. Where are we now? 1 hour time frame. Zoom into the 15-minute time frame, and that 1 hour deal is all compressed into this part of this chart. You can see that we've gone from super overbought territory to oversold territory in the 15-minute time frame. But if we go back out to the 1 hour, it's gone from overbought to oversold pretty deep. We go back to the 4 hour, and this is hardly a wiggle. It's hardly a wiggle in the 4 hour time frame. And in the 12-hour time frame, it's just a little wee blip, this pullback. Maybe I'm getting this. This is the pullback here. So it's interesting to watch how this is building from time frame to time frame as it's unfolding, and how the trend lines in the RSI, the breaks of those trend lines in RSI are really the trading signal. Let's go on to the on-balance volume, and this is the meat of the presentation here. This is where I'm getting into my belief that we're about to do one of those blow-off tops. So first indicator that I want to pay attention to is the fact that this relative strength index, the moving averages are so much crossed over to the positive. So we got the 60-20 exponential moving average here, the 60 period and the 20 period. And I want to go back in the charts to a place where we have the same on balance volume and our exponential moving averages are crossed over that positive. So I got to pull the chart back quite a ways to find a place that we had a similar pattern, descending on balance volume, while at the same time we have the exponential moving averages crossed over to the positive so strongly. So as we're seeing this build up now in the charts, and we're also seeing the other indicators looking great, I'm not really so concerned about the on-balance volume coming up to new highs in the buying. Certainly the people in September of 2015 who put that massive volume in, that's all you had to do, right? Just sit after that, and you're doing so well. That the Bitcoin was at $250 American each at that time. So the return on investment is crazy off of that blow off top and then sit and do nothing. And here we are building up to something that looks to me similar again, that we have this descending volume that I've been poo-hooing. And as we had that descending volume coming in and we have these exhaustion wicks, then I'm anticipating, I was calling this as bearish. This is looking bearish. We have less volume, less volume. This is going to be going down. But now that I'm comparing a few more things and adding that together with the relative strength index setting up right now, it's looking crazy. Let's jump in now and see how this is playing out, because it still will have a very strong effect as we're looking at the daily, and this is going to a more, selling territory. I want to zoom back and get a perspective change. Look at the difference between the volume going on here. During this top and how we came down, the volume was entirely different. We did have a little bit of an experiment right here where it looked like we were going, look at that divergence, going positive while the price is going flat. I'm certain I was making a video about that at the time, saying how bullish this was looking, because I didn't go short at this time. I did go long on December the 17th, so that's good. Now, I'm anticipating that this is going to show some volume coming in here, and we'll have to see that. And that's what we're watching for now on this daily view. We're going to zoom into the 12-hour view and see how this volume is shaping up right on the point now, because this is where it'll just zoom in. We'll just have it go from negative to positive. It'll go off this bottom and it'll start to go. And it's going to be crazy when it goes because of the chart pattern that we're in. And because we have so many people bearish, there's going to be two forces that are going to make this go up high and fast. That is, the people who are correct will be adding on, and the people who are all short, they're going to have to cover their shorts by buying, which puts extra buying pressure on the markets. So it's a really key moment, and that's why we're going to have such a big move. Another important thing, I'm going on, but there's a lot here. This exponential moving average has crossed to the positive on the 4-hour time frame. And for me, while we're mixing this together with a 1, 2, 3 formation building up here at such incredible levels, when that breaks out, it's going to be insane. The 4-hour crossover is another confirmation for me. So let's go into the 1-hour time frame, and what I'm looking for is this kind of volume picking up. It's going to be after the fact. Once it starts, then the volume's there. And so you've got all these indicators adding up and you're prepared for it. But if you're waiting for the volume to come in, then what's going to happen is that there is nothing available to buy. Everybody is jumping in to sell. The order books will be filled. If you're trying to market order and FOMO in after the move is taking off, you're just not going to do as well. And so it's better to split your trade into a couple different parts and say, okay, I'm going to do it now with a little wee bit of my trade. I'm going to put my stop loss in here and I'm going to monitor and watch this. After the big blow off goes off and everybody's all done their excitement, it'll pull back a little bit. This is when you can put on the next part of your trade, when the market is more quiet and you're not chasing after it. That way you can actually do a limit order instead of a market order, and you're getting paid your maker fees instead of paying taker fees. So the FOMO on this is crazy for the amount of difference it makes in your profitability, how you approach that FOMO. Everybody gets it. So I tried to go in with a really small trade to begin with. Then I'm not FOMOing as it moves. I'm making my percentage gain. Then I can add on to it later, because if this is correct, there will be time to add on. This is going to be a major change of direction. 1-hour time frame, 15-minute time frame. Just to zoom in, we could just watch this live and see this volume change, and we know we're going. But I want to go on to the MACD indicator. This is one of my favorites, and it's sort of a nail biter because the longest term, the weekly view, is crossed to the negative. Last time it crossed to the negative, we had a big pullback, and we don't see that it ever crossed to the negative in the past. Do we not see? We do see in the past. I'll say that out loud again. We do see in the past that it did cross to the negative here before, and then prices went up. We did have this go to the negative and then prices went up. Now I got to go open this chart up to see when that was. Does it match up? I'm going to go back here because we have another example exactly at that big blast off. The same place as the on balance volume, the same place as the relative strength index, the same place as the last time we had this massive move upward. We had the relative strength index. No, we had the MACD indicator crossing to the negative as we had this shape up, and the exponential moving average was crossed over to the positive. So that is awesome to go and find that in the charts too. I think that's the first time I've looked back and put that together. Let's go to the 1-day time frame now, because this is crossing to the positive. Let's zoom in on it. It is still positive, and the histogram is holding positive. So as long as this holds this and starts to flare, we are going up. Let's zoom in to the 12-hour time frame now. I'm going to stay in this view. We've got this cross to the positive, cross to the positive. This just crossing and going is going to really coordinate with a blast off. As we're going into the 4-hour, we can see this is still stayed cross to the positive. And it should stay across to the positive all the way through most of this. If we take a look at when this did the move up and when this did the move up, this stayed positive all the way along these moves ups. So we're really watching for that here in the 4-hour. And as I zoom in, I expect the 1-hour should already be positive, and it isn't. So we can sit and watch the on balance volume and this indicator. This isn't crossed positive yet, and I was expecting it to be right now. Very shortly, if we're going up. So if we're going down, these are going to cross first. When we're on the 15-minute time frame, we'll see this cross to the negative and flare if we are dropping from here. And then from this time frame, we'll see the same thing expanding out in the 1-hour time frame. This will open up and flare in whichever direction. And by flare, I mean that this is getting wider apart as time is moving on. So to me, this is flaring at this time that at the same time that the histograms are changing direction. Then we have a flare to the negative where it's just getting wider apart right at this time. So we'll watch this. If it flares to the positive and we have that crossover, that's going to confirm at the same time as this 15-minute time frame. And the prices will be breaking above these levels right here. R1, 2, 3 shaping up. All of our indicators are laying up into the same place. And while the RSI is my most bullish indicator and it's telling me to take a little position now and get ready, the MACD isn't jumping in on that. Let's see what the Ichimoku cloud says, because sometimes this has kicked my ass. When I had a bullish bias and this was bearish, I didn't trade according to this and it kicked my butt. So let's watch this now. And the weekly time frame, lots of room. I don't know, not even much point in looking at it just to stay regular. On the daily time frame, this is still bearish. And it was bearish here too, on a very different volume setup, but this was bearish as we're coming into this setup. So eyes on that. Let's go into the 12-hour time frame. This is got a mix of messages here, not giving me anything, because it's got a positive cross. We've got a negative cross, the blue under the red. We have a positive cross of the trailing indicator, but we don't have the positive cross of the prices above these levels. As we've been saying for a few days, the Ichimoku cloud on this time frame will confirm when we break above these 1, 2, 3 formation technical levels. And everybody and their dog will be buying Bitcoin at the same time. Market orders, it'll be flooded. You can't get an order in. Let's go in now to the 4-hour time frame. This is negative and positive. So this is a twist to the negative. That's a cross to the positive. This is indecisive, and the price is not above or below the cloud. So this is a no trade zone, and this would just say sit on your hands on the 4-hour time frame. Let's move in to the 1-hour time frame. This could be a buy signal. A bounce off of this cloud could be good because we have positive. The blue line is just crossed above the red, though it's hard to see there. And the green is cutting through. It's got to poke up above. This has got a twist to the positive. Price has got to break above these levels. Everything is waiting for a break above these levels. All these time frames, right to the 1 hour. The 15-minute time frame, oh, brutal. I was expecting some more confirmation one way or the other, but this is straight in the middle. Nothing going on here. We have it just sits still. This is a sell. The blue is slightly above the red for a buy. The green is indecisive in the middle. So everything, even the 5-minute time frame, is telling us to wait for this to break above or below. Crazy. That's the 15-minute. The 5-minute is even the same thing. So we've got a few that are giving us the idea that it's going up, but nothing in the Ichimoku cloud is giving us a signal either direction. Brutal. Let's go on to Bitcoin dominance, because this is the main thing for the alts. 1, 2, 3 top formation in Bitcoin dominance. If it breaks below this parallel channel, I do believe it'll be altcoin season. And it looks like September 17th will be the day that starts. And I don't know. What happened in the past if for altcoin season to really take off, I'm going to go back to the relative strength index chart and go to the daily view, pull this back, and we have to go to March of 2017, right here. And I want to drag the chart back to that time. Bitcoin did a consolidation. It ran up. It had a massive spike back that was actually quite significant from 1,200 to 750. That's a good percentage pullback. And then it worked its way up. And from this time on here in March, it had that second big dip. That's when the Bitcoin dominance started to slide. And it only slid for a very short period of time, only from March till July. That was our entire massive cryptocurrency bull market. That was it. And so I am looking for this kind of same scenario again with the Bitcoin dominance, is that I think it's going to run way up and all the alts are going to get massively crushed. Then Bitcoin's going to do a massive return back, something like this. And that's when Bitcoin dominance is going to switch and change. And I don't know, of course, but this is what has happened in the past before. Bitcoin made the run up And then as it made this top formation and the RSI made it to these overbought territories on the daily view, it made a top formation and pulled back. So that's what I'm looking for now. If I go back to the present in a daily view, we're nowhere near that yet. And I'm expecting to have that big blow off top. If I could get rid of this, change the scale so that I have room to draw it in. Yeah, probably 20,000. And then a good like 40% pullback. And then altcoins start. So this is fantastic. What do you call estimation, projection, prediction? Let's tweet it out. Take the screenshot, hit tweet, and say fantastic prediction. When altcoin season, tweet. So you can follow Intro to Cryptos. I'll tweet something out on each episode that I'm doing, and then I tweet out the episode itself. But I think that we are going to crazy extremes right here. No way to know it. Let's do a couple more slides and then we're finished. We can see Bitcoin in this formation. It looks to me like we're building up to that launch. We've seen these launches before. This is looking like a launch. Altcoins are getting crushed. They're getting crushed. They're getting crushed. And I think we're just about to see an extreme. Bitcoin taking off and flying, really building and just going whoosh. And at the same time, the alts are absolutely going to hit the basement. And so it's probably a good time to put some of those anticipation orders down at 40% lower than they are now. It will be on the news, but it's already here. It's in the charts. The news is just telling what happened afterwards. Now let's finish up with taking a look at the Patreon Bull Market Watch spreadsheet. You can get access to all the goodies in this spreadsheet, and I recommend that you park in this spreadsheet and really pay attention to what's going on in this color coding, because you can see by the red line, this is the number of markets coming down to fails. I'm expecting to see that go way, way up again. All this red line to hit the top again as Bitcoin dominance goes up from, what is it, 70%, 70.1%. Let's go to a 5-year view. And I think it's going to be racing its way back up to the 77, 78%. We'll see a top formation in Bitcoin dominance. And then after altcoin, maybe altcoin season will be from here. After things come up to these levels. Absolutely possible. And actually that's what I'm predicting. So I should be scribbling that in there. My drawing tools have disappeared. So let's see how that pans out. And that is what we're going to track in this Patrons Bull Market Watch spreadsheet. But I'm super excited about this. There's nothing else like this out there. We've been going through this for, I started it back last September, actually, watching for the bull market. We started this new format in January, so we can go all the way through and see and color code all of the markets and see who did what. Now we have a way to sort it so we can see the coins that had the number of days, 7 days in alert, 1 day in alert status, 5 days in alert status. And here's a market that was 3 days in alert status, 22 days in hold status, our Bitcoin trades. BitShares was 4 days in alert status. So now we can sort through these to find out which are the coins that are most likely to be taking off first, both for Poloniex and for everything on Binance. Every single day we update this, and it's only $15 a month to become a patron sponsor and have access to this. We have 8 people supporting the channel now. It'd be fantastic to have another few join us, and I'll be creating some special reports that'll help you make the most of these cryptocurrencies when they do finally bottom and they do finally take off. That's going to be the spreadsheet that's got the answers. All right, let's watch the charts and see what goes on with these formations. I'm bullish, but when these top formations start to be broken and prices are breaking below these levels, my trading pattern takes over my bullish or my bearish bias. So once these 1, 2, 3s are doing their thing on either direction, I've got to pay attention to it. These are my action points. So when they are making the 1, 2, 3s anywhere, I am watching. If it's making a 1 and a new 1 and it bounces up, now we have the 1, 2, 3. I'm watching for all of those in any direction. So I think the longer, bigger term 1, 2, 3s are building up that this is going to continue. It could go sideways, who knows? But it's going to eventually build and blast to one of those blow-off tops. And we could hit 11,800, as I was saying earlier, or from today's chart, it just naturally looked like we were going to go to 20,000. So I haven't even checked the live chat to see if it's working. Good to see a bunch of you here today. Trader Rituto, good to see you. Oze K Dog, good to see you here. I am super excited to have you along in our Discord chat all the time, Oze K. I appreciate you being there and all of the conversation back and forth. So I hope you and I particularly get stupid rich from all of this. Do you think it could start a BTC climb and a climb of the alts towards BTC at the same time, like happened in November? It could be, and Bitcoin dominance is the measure of it. So this did come down as we're talking in the live stream. If I go into the 15-minute chart again, this is the 1, 2, 3 top formation that, of course, I'm really watching closely, especially if we have. Where is my drawing tool? Here we go. Well, anyway, 1, 2, 3, and a little 1, 2, 3 formation here. So this tiny little 1, 2, 3 breaking lower is going to be important. And we're going to see an exact inverse in this in all of the altcoins, in that they'll be making 1, 2, 3 bottom formations at the same time as this. I can invert this chart and we see how the alts will actually look right now. They will look like 1, 2, 3 bottom formations. And if we have this bottom formation starting on the 6th of September and it's building up till now, that's okay. That's not a bad bottom formation. I got to zoom out so I can get some more data here. And as the data loads in, this chart loads up slowly, or my computer is slow. But as the data loads in, we can see that there is the 15th to the 17th of July, the 8th of August, and then September the 7th. The best altcoins are those that have a bottom formation that is more mature than this 6th of September little bottom formation. This is very small bottom formation turnaround. Could be the big turnaround. But some of the coins made a bottom that they held in August, and they are making a higher number 3 point now in September, and they are building bottom formations. I must have reset the tools over here somehow because I don't see a drawing tool here. No. I can't just scribble. Anyway. Do that for another episode. We're way over time here. Great to have you along, Jade the Snake. Thank you for the thumbs up. And I want to close again. Let's close again with an additional thank you for Leviathan. He mentioned in our Discord chat this morning, so when I got up and put the coffee on, came to the computer, he says, the system you go through each day, looking at the indicators systematically, has really changed the way I look at trading. I appreciate that, and I'm super looking forward to your success stories when these take off. I hope that your trading plan works out for you. And if you are struggling with your trading plan, be sure to go over and get this webinar, because it talks about a trading plan, and then it goes through all 5 stages of the trade and how to think about things during those stages of the trade. I really want to share this information so that when you come to these live streams, you are ahead, you are educated, you are informed, you are ready to take this stuff now and start practicing it, because it's no good to you just to know this stuff. I can teach you something and you can know it, but it's not the same as believing in something. And especially in trading, you have to have a lot of strong belief. There's not a lot that we actually do in trading. We spend a lot of time thinking and feeling. And so if you're thinking and feeling the correct things, you can sit in calm and relaxed, because you know these exponential moving average crossovers are so important. They keep you in the market. They keep you in the game when normally you might FOMO sell out. You might, fear and FOMO might get you, especially if you're looking at the 1-day exponential moving average and you're going to stay in until this cross is over. You would be shitting your pants as these markets are doing these moves, unless you really believed in your 1-day exponential moving average, and you would have stayed in this market after shitting your pants, and you would have stayed here all the way until this top formation, and you would have got out. Everybody else is saying, oh, it's just pulling back, it's going to blast off. You would have said, I don't care. My 1-day exponential moving average crossed over. That's it. I got in, I got out. There's nothing for me to do. I spent 10 minutes of work here and 10 minutes of work there. The rest, I just checked the market to see if I should do anything, and there's nothing for me to do. So now that 1-day exponential moving average has crossed positive and prices went bananas. It went negative and now it's crossed positive. We have the 4-hour exponential moving average has crossed positive. We're just now waiting for the 12-hour, and we have everything going positive. And of course, that's going to happen above these levels here. I can go on all day, and I do, over on our Discord channel. So be sure to come over and join us. There's a link down in the description below. Thanks again for tuning in. I'll sign off for now, and I'm going to go and get prepared for the new BitMEX trading stream, where I'm focusing on trading on BitMEX. And I do have it. Actually, it's here. I have just released the Ultimate BitMEX Tutorial, a beginner's guide to cryptocurrency trading. How to trade Bitcoin and altcoins on BitMEX, the Kindle edition. So it's a very easy to understand and a basic tutorial on how to trade Bitcoin and altcoins on BitMEX. This is going to be the backbone of the second live stream that I do each day, where we go through it and we look at the big markets that are traded on BitMEX to see, is there a long or a short that we could do in any of these markets? I will leave you with that, and I'll sign off, ready for the next live stream. Cheers. Thanks again for tuning in. I appreciate having you guys here.